How's it going, everyone? I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. Yesterday was the 4th of July and I had a blast, and I hope you guys did too. I am officially back from my little mini vacation that I took. I know I was out for about a couple weeks, almost a month, but I am coming back strong this time. And to kick things off, I am going to do a little project that I had kind of planned out for a while now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be painting the emblem on my personal steering wheel. And as you can already see, I kind of already got started. So as with every video that I do on a how-to, I'm going to kind of walk you through the stuff you're going to need. And what I'm using for this particular video is I'm using a can of white Plasti Dip. I'm using some painter's tape, some masking paper, and I got a can of red paint that is matched as close as possible to my car's color, and a small can of clear. So before we begin, let me go ahead and walk you guys through what I did. Obviously what I did is I wrapped the entire steering wheel. I put some painter's tape all around here, and I did the painter's tape up here. But before I did that, I kind of masked an area here, here, and here with just painter's tape, and I left this part black. What I then did was I got some Plasti Dip, and with the Plasti Dip, I put about a medium coat for just one coat, and I went all around here. And as you can see, it's basically covering the majority of the black area while leaving the personal logo and the personal lettering intact. But obviously, in order for you to get that to work, you have to use like a pick or something sharp to kind of get in there in the edges while it's wet and kind of move the Plasti Dip around and kind of get it out. You don't want to get too many coats on this, just a first medium coat, and you should be pretty good with that. But make sure that this is still kind of wet and tacky while you're doing this, because if you try to peel the Plasti Dip off of the engraving, it's going to peel the majority of the Plasti Dip out, and you do not want that. I have it all shaken up and ready to go, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a light coat first. I'm going to try to stay as far back as possible so I don't get too much paint and too much runny paint onto this area. So I'm going to try to be very easy with it before I do anything. So let's get started. And I'm going to let that sit for a little bit before I go into the next coat. So far, I'm not seeing much improvement on the black, so I think it's just kind of just around the white area of the Plasti Dip. So I'm going to let that sit. It will turn red eventually. You just got to do a couple more coats. But I'm just waiting for this to dry a little bit more, then I'm going to do the next coat. I thought the camera was recording as I was doing it, but I already did the second coat for the spray paint. Obviously it didn't catch it on the camera, but as you can see, I'm just waiting for that to dry down. And so far, the red is starting to show more. It's not showing as much on the black all that much, but you can see little by little here in these little parts here that it's starting to go more red. And I'm just waiting for this to dry out to see what it'll look like for the next coat. So just as a reference, I'm giving about a 5 to 10 minute dry time on the paint. I'm currently at about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna do the third coat of paint on the steering wheel. So I'm just shake this up and get ready for the third coat. Okay, this is officially day 2. I had to stop recording last night because there was something I had to do. And I put about 5 coats onto the steering wheel. So we're gonna see what that looks like right now in just a sec. I'm gonna take the steering wheel outside so we can get a better visual with the sunlight. And then we're gonna move on to putting the clear coat next. Okay, here's the steering wheel. I have it ready, pretty much painted everywhere. And as you can see, let me focus. As you can see, everything's ready and good to go. I got all the cracks and crevices. It just needs a little bit of coat of clear. But to be honest with you, with the paint that I use, I can just go ahead and just peel off the stuff and be done with it. But I might as well use the clear that I bought. So I'm just going to put about 2, maybe 1 or 2 coats of it and peel off everything and see the results. Okay, so we got our can of clear ready to go. I'm just going to spray a little bit, maybe 2 coats, and be done with it. Gonna let that dry for a little bit, and we're gonna put the second coat, and that's it. Okay, we got 2 layers of clear already dried off and ready to go. I've touched it, everything is nice and clear. Now I'm gonna go take out all the tape and expose to see what's under there. I'm not expecting everything to be 100% perfect. For all I know, there's some paint leakages in there. which is perfectly fine. I can probably just scratch it off anyway. Hopefully the Plasti Dip did its job as kind of like a masking tape. So we'll see what that looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling it and reveal what's underneath. Okay, I wanted to give you guys an update of what I'm doing right now at this moment. Right now I'm using this pick to kind of like scrape the Plasti Dip off and even scrape some of the paint that got onto the steering wheel. Luckily for me, it doesn't really scratch much, but I can easily just kind of clean this out. You can kind of go over it very gently and the paint will just come right off. I'm having trouble getting some of the lettering down. I don't know if you guys can see all that well. I'm trying to zoom in, get a little closer. I'm having trouble getting some of the lettering down. So far I got the P and I got the crown almost completely done, but the L on this one it's not working with me. So I'm trying to figure out a way to save this L, but for the most part I think I'm gonna have to redo this one. But everything else seems to be perfect. Okay, you guys, this is the best I could do. I tried to save the A and the L as you can see over here, but the A just was not cooperating with me for whatever reason. The L just came straight off. So I'm gonna probably have to redo both those letters. So what that means is I'm gonna have to tape off this whole thing, mask that off. I'm gonna have to leave the A and the L exposed a little bit. I was able to get all the leftover runoff paint here off. Really all you have to do is just rub your thumb against it real hard and it comes right off, so that's not a big deal. And luckily for me, there's no scratches on the steering wheel and everything seems to be pretty good. It looks cool, I'm not gonna lie. The way the crown came out, the way the lettering came out, it looks really cool. It's gonna look really different compared to other personal steering wheels that I've seen, but it's just getting these last two letters it's just really tough. So I'm gonna have to redo this, but I'm not gonna bore you with that. And I'll save that for another video, probably when I install the steering wheel finally. That's what I'm gonna end up doing and just show you how it came out. All right, you guys, what are my thoughts about this process? For the most part, it worked. Now, there may be some hiccups along the way, such as some of the letters peeling, like in my case, the A and the L. So now my steering wheel says person instead of personal, but for the most part, everything else came out okay. I have the crown pretty much done perfectly. I have all the letters worked out pretty good. As much as I can tell, they look a-okay. I mean, the one that was gonna be really hard, I think, was gonna be the P and also the O. But for me, I guess I got lucky and the Plasti Dip adhered to it very well. And I was able to kind of work out those little dots in the middle of the P and the O. So that worked out for me great. But honestly, if you're gonna do this process, you gotta be very careful on how you do this because you could easily mess up. Fortunately for me, I was able to go ahead and rub off the excess paint that came on the steering wheel itself, and that wasn't really much big of an issue. And the steering wheel, I guess whatever that's coated or painted with, does a really good job of hiding scratches. So all the scratches that I did were gone. If you're gonna attempt to do this process, just be very careful on how you do it. Take as much time as possible doing all the prep work. And if you're working on a black surface like I was, it'd probably be a good idea to get some primer. I think that's the problem I had with the paint because I put too many coats, especially on the A and the L. And when I was peeling off the paint, the letters just kind of came along with it. So if you have a primer, you'll get the best results, you'll get the best adhesion, and everything will come out a lot smoother than what mine did. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you guys liked the video, smash that like button. And of course, we will find out what happens with the steering wheel once I'm done with it in the next video. So until then, we'll see you guys later.